Hello, this is Shalomar Steinberg, and today I am going to be doing the step-by-step video for the parking lot assignment, and this is for part 1. So we have the instructions for our parking lot assignment right here. Oh, sorry, that's the example drawing, actually. Instructions are right here. So using the guidelines from the ODOT standards for accessible parking, you're going to be drawing the spaces for a parking lot and access sidewalk. We're going to use the PS-AB title block for this so that we have a B-size window for it. And then last name parking.dwg will be the file name. The first step should be to set your units to architectural and 1/4 inch precision, and you want to do that both for the drawing as a whole and then also in your dimension style manager. In model space, you're going to go ahead and start drawing the objects on the object line layer. So the outlines here and these marking lines should be 4 inch and solid white with an outline in black for our drawing, and that marks the painting that would be on the parking spaces. And we will have one accessible parking space, an accessible walking aisle next to that, and then 4 reserved parking spaces for the apartments in the unit. We also have our accessible walkway, and this just continues off to the edges, so we've just drawn it closed so that we could hatch it with cement. And then if we look at the instructions again, your lot will have, just like I said, 1 accessible spot with an aisle attached, 4 standard spots attached that will make the same size as the accessible spot, simply for ease and convenience. So for the accessibility spot, and therefore for our other ones, the spots should each be 9 feet wide, and that's to the center of the white marking lines. Then the spots should be 17 feet deep or tall, and that also includes the 4 inch marking line at the front up here. The aisle will be 8 feet wide from the center of the marking lines on the outside, and the same 17 feet deep. And it is required to be on the passenger side of the vehicle if we look at the standards, which we will in just a second. And it's going to have diagonal marking lines that are at 36 inches every 2 feet going up. And so that's 2 feet from the center, or you could just use 2 feet from the bottom of each preceding one to the bottom of the next one. And then that should give us all the measurements that we need. We also decided to make our walkway 8 feet to the center of the lines, and that means that we made our ramp 4 feet plus the width of this bottom line here. And our ramp, it didn't give us specific directions in the standards for how wide it should be, so we went ahead and just made it to be a little bit bigger than the example drawing. As we'll see in the standards, that's about how they fit it. So if we look in the standards, which are posted on the assignment page, these are the Oregon standards as of August 2018. And the Oregon standards are adapted from a variety of other standards, including the federal ADA standards for accessible parking. So that means be 9 feet wide with an adjacent access aisle, at least 6 feet wide. The aisle should be at least 8 feet wide for an accessible parking space designated as van accessible. And they recommend that if you only have 1 accessible spot, it must be van accessible, which is why we've chosen to make ours 8 feet wide for the aisle. There must also be signs, which we have showcased in the example picture that we're using. Pavement markings, there are specific markings for the wheelchair accessible symbol. We are not worrying about those for this assignment. We are using blocks to show our signs in the second part of this assignment. So this tells the model numbers for the different signs that are used in the various figures here. So the one that we are mainly basing our drawing off of is the minimum standards for a single accessible parking space. So if you look, that's the 9 feet and 8 feet minimums, the 4 inch wide markings, and then it needs to say no parking, the 36 inch diagonal for this section, and therefore all of the ones that go above it, And then we have our ramp put in. And we figured since this is about 4 inches wide, we would assume that it's about 4 inches further out from the edge. And the ramp must be over the accessibility aisle because they need to be able to get right out of the vehicle and be able to get straight up onto the accessible walkway. Then we're going to have 4 additional spaces to the side that will be labeled with signs saying they are reserved. Okay, so now I'm going to do a brief display of how to actually build this in AutoCAD. So we'll go into our AutoCAD, and I've opened my PS-AB drawing, and I'm going to be on my object line layer. I'm going to get into the lines, and I'm going to start out by drawing one that is 17 feet long. Oh, caught myself, I need to change my units. So I'm going to type units, and I'm going to change it to architectural, and I'm going to put the precision at 1/4 inch. And choose inches down here, say OK. Then I'm also going to go to my annotate screen and my dimension style manager. I'm going to modify my dimension style and go to primary units and choose architectural and again 1/4 inch. And I will say OK and set current and close. That way when I'm ready to do my dimensions they will show correctly. Now I can go back in here and get into the line command. And when I go to draw down, I can type my 17 and then the feet symbol. Remember that any number that I put without a symbol after it, it's going to assume is in inches because of the units that I just set. So now I can draw that 17 feet. And you see that it's relatively small. It just means that I was zoomed farther out in the drawing. Then I'm going to draw my 4 inches over, so I don't have to put the symbol. And then back up to where the 17 feet was. And I can go ahead and either close that now or draw one continuous closure line. I'm actually going to go ahead and draw it now because I want the endpoints to be, or the midpoints of each of the little sections to be available later. So now I'm going to go ahead and along the top edge there, I'm going to draw the distance over that I need to be. So I want 9 feet. I'm going to have 2 inches here plus 2 inches over on this side included. So that means I need 8 feet, 8 inches. So I will draw my line starting here. 8 feet, 8 inches. And that goes over. And then straight down the 17 feet again. And that gives me my inside edge on this side, so then I can go 4 more inches over. And straight up, and close it. At this point I'm also going to put in my line to show the marking at the top of the parking space. So I don't need it on that outside edge, so I'm going to start here, and I'm going to drag down with my tracking 4 inches, and then draw that across. And here I am actually going to continue it over, and then I'll continue it over further for my aisle. So I've drawn this one. Now I'm going to go ahead and draw my aisle. And again, I have 2 inches on this side and 2 inches on the opposite side. So I will need 7 feet, 8 inches from the edge here. So I'm going to go ahead and draw 7 feet, 8 inches. And straight down 17 feet. And then over 4 inches. And up. And close it off. Then I can continue the line from here and over. And then I will draw on my further, I could simply copy this one over or mirror it over the center point of this space if I want to, or I can just draw the next 4 slots there. I'm going to leave that for you to do, and I will go ahead and continue on with the diagonals. So I'm going to draw the closure at the bottom, and then I'm going to offset that up 4 inches. There we go. And then I'm going to draw in my line that is 36 inches, or is at a 36 degree slant. And I'm going to go ahead and I just want it to be somewhere under the 2 foot mark, or right at the 2 foot mark from the bottom. So I will go up, and I'm going to put it in at 1 point, or actually, sorry, I want to put it in at 1 foot 6 inches, just so that it's under that 2 foot mark. And then I'm going to draw it, actually I'm just going to draw it as a construction line here. Then I will go over, get in the line command here, and hover this way. And I'm not going to go too far. Let's go about here, I guess. And just drag the line through to this distance, and tab and type my 36 inches or degrees. Okay, so then I can remove this one. Now I'm going to go ahead and offset 4 inches again, this line above, and I can use the extend command, and I'm hitting enter to select all, and you see I can extend that down to the end there. Then I can use the trim command and hit enter to select all and trim out the portions that go through here. Now I'm just going to use the copy command all the way up as far as I need to. And the easiest way for me to do that is just to draw from the bottom here across right there, and then I'm going to offset it up 2 feet. And just keep doing that all the way up. That way I have a clear place to attach to. These are just construction lines that I can remove afterwards if I want to. Alright, so now I can do the copy command, and I'm going to copy these 2 lines, and I'm going to tell it the base point is at the juncture of this line and this line. That way I can go ahead and just copy this one up here, and up here, and here, 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 there. I need to zoom in to be clear there, and there. Then I will use again that extend command and hit enter to tell it all edges, and I can extend them through till they meet the other side. And so forth. Okay, I am also going to then use the copy command on this side so that I can get the ones that go up from here. So I will go to copy, and I will select these 2 lines, and I will select this corner so that I can use this corner as the place that they match up. And the same here, and the same here. And then I will trim out the portions that I don't need and finish extending the pieces down here that I do need. Then I can take out the edges here, and I can use the trim command, and again hit enter to select all, and take out the portions like this that I will not need that fill in my areas in between. And like I said, I can just remove all these that I don't need. Okay, so the last thing that we're going to do is the ramp, and the trimming out here. There we go. Okay, so we're going to draw our walkway area, and we're going to do that the 8 feet across, so with 2 inches off on either side, that's again 7 feet 8 inches. And you'll go out beyond the edge of where your 4 additional parking spaces are. And this is so that we can do the cement hatch in here. And then you're going to draw your parking space. Again, I suggested that you go down here, and actually from here you want to go over 4 inches approximately and draw up, and then draw your over, which about 4 feet worked pretty good. You can measure it out so that it's exactly centered if you want to, and then we'll do the 4 inches there. Oops, I did it on the top part. So I might need a construction line there to be able to draw that part. Or I can just start at the bottom and match them up. So I'll go here, 4 inches, and just match it up. Okay. And once I have that, then I can go to the hatch command. And I would want to do this on a hatch layer, actually. And then I'm going to scroll down until I get to the AR concrete right here. And I'm going to come over here and click it in there. And what I see is that it's a little bit small looking, so I might go ahead and put it in at like 3, so that there's a little more space in between. Then I'll go ahead and just end my hatch. And that's your approximate drawing minus the extra parking spaces that you need, which are shown here in the actual drawing.